I would like to turn this evening over to Don and Nancy. And Don and Nancy, if you need me to share anything, just let me know and I'll be happy to do so.
Thank you, Dory.
So we're in a ground floor opportunity here with so much opportunity ahead with a product that's a hero product. You know, my name's Don Carson. It's my wife, Nancy Carson. We're up in Canada. We were offered a chance to come here for a storytelling ability. And I'll be honest with you, the first thing we needed to do was try the product. So the first thing we do when we talk to anybody now is you've got to try the product, because if you experience what we experienced so quickly, you'll want to tell the world. But there is a kind of a way to look at this industry. And there's a couple of things that we always look at when we first look at anything, which we've not really taken on this kind of a role for quite a while, because nothing really excited us. And I think what you got to think like is, you know, can you get measurable results from something? I think that's a real important thing. But what's really fascinating is I wrote down a couple of things. When you think about, you know, measurable results, what really is, does the world need what we have? And I think that, you know, when you hear from my naturopath expert that's going to come on here, that's just a phenomenal woman that has helped my son in the past. And I just want her to share a few points about the gut brain and the brain and how that's connected. But one of the things that was really important for us is that, you know, if the world can make sense out of this quickly, you can get duplication. And so, as Nancy said, our goal here is to create some tools that all you can have fun sharing. And one of the things we did in the past is we created a cartoon environment, so to speak. And today the word avatar is so prevalent out there that even the families and the kids would look at it and want to know more, as opposed to just somebody that is an adult that wants to make money, right? You got to be able to connect the family to these things to really have some good legs underneath it. So it's part of the vision of what we're doing. And that quick little image that Dory shared with Nancy in the shield is something that just makes so much sense to all of us, that, you know, your immune system has to be supercharged. And if you can have a shield to help that and help that affect the rest of what you have in your body and the challenges you've had, look out. So let me just say this. In the 2 weeks that we've been on the product, I've not had an acid pill that I was addicted to. So that was the first thing I went, oh my goodness. I know now why my body was maintaining weight, couldn't lose weight, because my stomach wasn't working properly. As soon as I got off that, now that my digestion's working properly, I can't believe what it's doing to me. So pluriactiv, thank you. And the weight management patch, thank you. And honestly, when I look at the simple system of these 3 patches, which I'm currently wearing 3 of them. So under my arm here, I'm going to go this way. I don't know. See over here. I've got 1 under here. I don't know if you can see that right there. And I have 2 over here. And there's the 2 of them there. I just, it's so darn simple. Get up in the morning, put a different patch on, and 24 hours later, change it again. Take my pluriactiv in the morning and my pluriactiv at night. And I'm sleeping. I'm sleeping like a baby in one bed. Nancy, am I a Goldilocks or what?
Well, as long as we've been married, you've slept in every bed. Throughout the
I can't turn my brain
you
off.
Get up and you move from one to the other, which is just a reward for me, because then I get to make every bed in the morning.
Well, listen, you're part of the blame, though, and this is the thing that we wanted to share with everybody, is that there's a story here. My stomach is working properly. I got to tell you that the morning movement, you know, your morning constant, whatever you know, the different expressions everybody uses. It used to be read the paper and have sore legs. I honestly, I'll tell you the God's truth. I was the person that could read the whole paper, because it just didn't happen that quickly. It's happening in 30 seconds. And I'm finding, okay, now what do? I don't even pick up the paper. It's just a different thing that's happening that I'm noticing in my body. The pain in my sciatic when I walk my dog, gone. The pain in my ankle, gone. All of these things are magically happening because my digestive system is working. We'll let Yvonne talk about that later. That was for me. But Nancy, you were kind of the reason why I couldn't sleep at night, because I obviously couldn't shut my brain off, and you were struggling to breathe because you had sinus issues. So maybe you could share that.
Well, I've had sinus issues for quite some time. And I remember even saying to Don that I had found a specialized sinus clinic that was in Las Vegas. And I was trying to talk him into taking me to it, because I thought if I could just get my sinuses to have some relief, then I wouldn't have the headaches and I wouldn't have all these other problems. And when I wake up in the morning, my eyes were always puffy. And it took at least an hour for the puffiness to go away out of my face. And since I've been taking the pluriactiv, and I noticed it immediately, like the very first week when I woke up, my eyes weren't all swollen and puffy. and I could breathe out of my nose. And Don said, I could hear you breathing last night, and you were breathing so soundly. You weren't making any noises. And I couldn't believe it, because all I had done was taken the pluriactive. And I said that night when I went to bed, and I have never been somebody that struggles to sleep. I could sleep on top of a telephone pole.
It's true.
I could sleep anywhere. It's been my superpower. But I had no idea the difference between sleeping and restful sleep. So I wake up now when I get up in the morning, and I'm awake. My feet are ready to hit the floor. And I would be one of those lollygaggers that would be easy to fall back to sleep. I'd sort of only be in half awake, half slumber stage for the first little while. I'm one of those ones that gets up and goes to the bathroom, and I really only have one eye open because I'm not committed. I'm not committed to the morning.
Well, you know, I shouldn't say that you didn't have a place to go to work, because your work is so busy keeping these two kids and myself in line. It's just that when I would leave, you'd go back to bed anyway.
Sometimes.
But now you get up in the morning and our conversation begins, and it's wonderful, you know. And so I just want to share. Everybody will have a different story. I mean, we're not guaranteeing anything here. I mean, there's more, the key is measurable results, and we both experienced this. So now we're telling the world. And then when you start talking about an ownership that is willing to course correct when you give ideas, and they say, we love the concept of the pill in a patch system. Well, you see, the pill is the pluriactive. The patches, of course, are 3 patches that actually go into your system. And there's 3 different patches: a weight management patch, it's working for me; an NAC patch, which we know from taking pills over the years that's good for your liver and other things; and the NAD, which many people talk about how it can rejuvenate your body for so many things. It's simple for me. So we've got a system we've launched called the pill in the patch. More to come on that. But folks, when the ownership was willing to say, let's get going on here and course correct, it was magic for me. And that's a magic formula for success. When somebody says, nope, this is the way we're going to do it, and they're going to stick to it, we said, what about this? And they said, you're right. That makes sense. And then I just want to say that, you know, when you've got the ability to have training from so many people that you'll just meet on this Zoom and this recording, for those of you that see it after, please share it. You know, that's no cost to you, right? Your $9.95 a month membership, $9.95 membership, will give you access to incredible people that are here to help, because they want to share this message to the world. And you're the environment that can do that, because here's the key. Here is the key. If it's to be, it's up to me. And I say me, but I mean you. That's the statement that I remember telling my young daughter when she was being told by a coach, believe it or not, in grade 8, don't even try out for the volleyball team in grade 9. It's too big a school. You won't make it. And I was just so mad that somebody would do that to my daughter. Her and I went to work that summer, and we spread out all our furniture in our living room. We have a high ceiling, and we did things in the winter. And she made the team, and then she was the captain of her university team for 2 years at the end of her career. And why do I share that with you? Because we used to look at the mirror and why not me? Why not me? We would say that. And that's the key to success in every business venture I've ever put my teeth into. And I'll share my real success story by how I sold a company to a New York Stock Exchange company many years ago. How did I do that from the trunk of my car? How did that happen? Because a fire got lit under me by adversity. And, you know, my wife and I tell a story about how we had our eyes opened up when it could have been wiped out in a second. Nancy, maybe you can just take a second to share that.
Well, that night we were on a boat trip. It was our anniversary. And we decided to go over to our friend's house to watch MMA fighting, because that's what every girl wants to do on her anniversary, is go and watch MMA fighting.
It was going to be fun.
With a whole bunch of guys, which was like what Don thought was a great anniversary night out. Anyways, I'm a go along, get along type of girl. And honestly, some of his worst ideas have been some of my fondest memories. So I figured maybe this will be one of them. Anyways, we leave the house. We go out on our boat. Unbeknownst to us, somebody else was making some choices that we had no control over. And they were driving their boat with no lights on. So I honestly didn't even know we had hit a boat when we crashed. I went through the windshield of our boat. Don flew into the dash and went to the back. We were both injured.
The boat was going to the cliff.
We were trying to assess what was going on. Don was disoriented at the back of the boat. And I started screaming because I was through the windshield and I could see that our boat was still driving and we were heading for shore, which was actually going to be worse than what had just happened to us.
Well, other than the gentleman that was in the boat illegally with no lights on, flew out of the boat.
Then all of that went and happened. And in the moment, in the flash of all of that, we realized that our traditional businesses at the time, it was a restaurant and his
lifestyle company.
And we were just, how would our kids get up and be able to move forward and do any of this stuff? There was no legacy in what we had created. And so we realized that we needed to try and find something different, something that we could involve our kids in, something that they could possibly pick up the strings, the reins of the horses and carry on with. And that was how we came to network marketing.
And we only tell that story because in a blink of an eye, all of us that would share this video to other people have stories like that in a different context. Something that's happened to them that their life was going to be changed and the depression would set in. And I believe this industry can really shape so many people's lives positively when you get around dreamers, because that's what people are missing today in the world. We call it hugging the world, but I think what we really have an ability to do with this company is share some positivity and give them a chance to look inside a mirror and say, why not me? And then try some products. And if they get what we believe will be measurable results, they're going to want to tell people. And this product at $9.95 membership, and then the product is only $59.95 for a whole month supply, morning pill and an evening pill. And from what I understand, because it's 100% natural, it has no effect documented on anything you might take from a pharmaceutical side. So you don't have to worry about it if you're doing blood pressure and everything else. I mean, obviously, you could ask your doctor, whatever you want to do, that's your body. But our own research is, oh my goodness, this is the product that everybody needs. It's a hero product. And then add the patches. So we've got an opportunity here to get involved with amazing people, get in a community of positive people, share a product that will let people go, oh my goodness, I got to tell somebody about this. We've experienced that in the past with a product that just went away because they changed the formula. Well, this is a natural product, nothing to change here. It's exclusive to this company. So we wanted to share that with you before we bring Yvonne on, because we're at a point now where all of the buckets and checks that we wanted to look at, we're here. A compensation plan that rewards everyone. Don't go fill your friends and family's garages with product. Let them buy what they want. So we've created packages with free gifts. We've got this system that's being launched before your eyes. It just started, that is going to go, in our opinion, viral, because in behind the scenes, we have our CEO working on some incredible social media tools that are going to help everybody, that'll be part of your membership, and so many things that we're going to point to say, hey, what would you like to do with this? Do you want to just bring in customers? Because guess what? You're rewarded on our program for building a customer base. And that's something that was on our checklist. I don't want to have this business be a recruitment tool only, just go out and sign people up. No, we want people to understand that, yes, you can make money duplicating a team, but wouldn't it be great if while you're building a team, you could build a massive customer base that just wants to buy the product at wholesale? That's $9.95. It's magic. So the ownership is giving you an environment here that everybody can win. Everybody's on an equal playing field. And we are looking through this compensation plan recently and painting a picture that the roadmap to the different bonus levels is very attainable for the average person. And that's so magical for Nancy and I would say. Wouldn't you agree, honey?
Well, and you get consumption here, being a product of the product, and you get rewarded for that. That's an incredibly powerful tool within itself, because not every company does that. And it's just really powerful to tell somebody that you're getting paid to get healthy. I mean, there's not a lot of people that think about that. They're in a business, they're doing their business, and they're getting paid to get healthy. There's not a lot of jobs that you go to, and that's happening.
And you know, it's funny, I go to my office where I have this traditional company that is doubled in size this year, 65 employees, and it's growing. And they're looking at me as I'm walking in with more poop in my popper. I'll be honest with you. I'm walking in the building going, oh my gosh, I like to bring on the day. And they're going, what's going on? And I've lost this weight. Don, you've lost weight. And I go, yes, I've lost weight. And I'm telling you, I'm almost gun shy because I know that I want them to try the product. So I'll get them as customers, but I'm not sure I want them to build a business because I need them doing some of the other things we have in our business for us to have a successful business. It's an interesting dilemma, but I know in my heart, I have to share this with them because it'll help them in their daily lives in terms of the construction they do and everything else, because some of them are manual labor jobs, some of them are service jobs, some of them are getting inside things in the middle of the winter. It's so beneficial when you have a product like this to help others. So I want to bring Yvonne off mute here if I can. And Yvonne, let me just quickly introduce you. You know, you became a great friend of ours many years ago. I think you can unmute yourself. I hope you can. Let's see, you got to hit that. There you go. Look, Nanoose Bay, you're out in the west coast of British Columbia, Canada, on an island. I've been to your home back in the day. You would help our son during his long COVID experiences there, giving him advice. There was a traumatic time in all our lives. You know, at the end of the day, you know, we don't cure anything. We just have chances for people to get inside themselves, look and try something on their own and make a decision if they see what we see results-wise. But Yvonne, you're one of the foremost herbalists and naturopath experts in Canada, and you've done this and talked to people around the world in speaking engagements. And I'm so proud to have you, so excited about what we're doing here. But you know, when I learned about the gut brain versus the brain, it was such a simple sort of thing that I didn't quite understand, but I'm physically understanding it now, what it's doing for my body. What would you say is a simple way to describe why you're so darn excited about what you've learned already about the pluriactive?
Well, in my business, I'm looking at the gut from 3 different modalities, and I see a lot of problems in there. Their microorganisms are extremely unhealthy. And what I really like, there's trillions of microbiome that are your friendly team in your gut. And most of them are not there. They're not available. So people are getting all sorts of issues in their gut. We could name lists that, but is too much. So anyway, but there's so many things that go on in the gut, including poor digestion, which leads to heartburn, which you have. And also the muscle, the stomach is a muscle and it can get pushed up. Causes herniations, it causes lung issues, it causes heart problems, it causes afibrillation, and all these problems because it's so stressed. So when I look at the gut, I look at from the mouth to the rectum. I just look at the intestinal system. So from the mouth right down to the rectum, okay? So feeding those microorganisms is super important. You got to nourish them or they're not going to be alive. And that's exactly what pluriactive does. And the reason it does that is because it's an extremely fermented product, and we need that in our gut to be healthy. The other thing that I love about this is when you have a healthy gut, your serotonin is healthy. Your serotonin actually starts in the gut, and that's where the brain connection comes in, because a lot of people have very low serotonin. It's a neurotransmitter that nourishes the brain. That serotonin works on the pineal gland, which is where your melatonin is produced. Now, people are wondering why they're not sleeping properly. If they take melatonin, they have a melatonin hangover in the morning because it's not working properly. So when you nourish your serotonin in your gut and the serotonin is working in your brain, that activates the pineal gland, activates the natural information to tell you how to sleep. And so many people are missing that. And that's why people are actually sleeping, because their gut's healthier. And also, if your serotonin is low, you're going to have depression. How many people do you know that are on antidepressants? These young kids that are eating at McDonald's and Tim Hortons and all these fast food places, or not even eating, a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them are on antidepressants. And that makes me feel very sad. They're young. And they're on drugs already. So, you know, getting that gut healthy is super important.
Well, you know, Yvonne, you've helped so many people. And I know first thing you said to me is all of these people in your community there need this, and that it got you excited when you read about it and got your head around it and ordered some product. I think people will understand as you join this team now and work with Dr. Nelson out of California, who you two have communicated now with. And you're very like-minded, and he was sharing his earlier experiences with you. That's going to be a driving force for us to be able to share this. Now, I'm never going to be a science person. I'm never going to share this from a perspective of the big words. I can't. Me, it's this simple. A pill and a patch. Try the pill in the morning, a pill at night, and put a couple of the patches on. I use all 3, and let's see what it does for you. I guarantee you, in my mind, you'll get some measurable results. If you don't, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. I'm confident of what it's experiencing that quickly with the people we've shared this with. And Yvonne, I know you're excited. You've got family you've already started talking to and some other people in the industry. It's that simple, folks. Understand the concept. apillandapatch.com. You can go look at it. But the big thing is Illumeralife. Now, illumeralife.com is our business model. And inside there will be membership benefits, but it's a basic principle, $99.95 for a membership if you want to be a a wholesale buying customer. And if you choose to join the business to duplicate, build your own customer base, and think about this, every customer that whatever buys and repeats, you'll make 20% off of them. You don't deliver the product, they buy it and they get it delivered to them. They can build a team if they choose, but they would have to upgrade to the $50 membership one time to become part of this environment where they could share websites and participating in the social media that is being developed right now for the expansion. You are at the cusp of something, I believe, and I want to tell you something, folks. I'm not going to brag. I sold a company from the trunk of my car, built it. One day I'll tell you more about the marriage type thing that happened to me where they lost belief in me working as hard as I was. And I went through this time where I eventually went to the point where I had to prove it. And I would not let myself fail. And that's the entrepreneurial spirit. Everybody will go through it at some point. People will say, well, that won't work. Try it. If it works, they're going to talk about it. We've seen it. And I'm going to share with you that I went through almost bankruptcy that close. And honestly, to go through that and have your house emptied, nothing left, a fork, a knife, and a spoon, and be at a point where you had nothing coming in, and then build it to a multi-million-dollar situation where you could sell it to a publicly traded company is because of a vision. And it's because I would not give up. And I think that's the message that all of you have to look at from this Zoom, is that these two people here have been through a lot, but we're here to help everybody. And we believe we have the product, the ownership, and the compensation plan to give you a chance to succeed at whatever that means for you. Because for it to work, it's got to be you that makes it work. But we'll give you all of what we can to help you and the tools along the lane. Nancy, any final thoughts here before we turn this back over to Jen and Dory to sign us off? Go ahead, Nancy.
I think one of the biggest things that I realized when I was early on in this industry was to not get in my own way. There's two things that you can do in that. Number one is when you get up, you show up. I know Jay has said this on multiple occasions because I've spoke to women so many times and they said, oh, I'll go talk to her when I have my hair done or when I have my makeup on or when I have this done. And it's so important to be that person. And if you start your day that way and you feed your mind, I can tell you that if you feed your mind with personal growth, it will feed your wallet. Because when you get up and you show up and you put the clothes on and you leave your house and you're feeling confident, you're feeling like you can share your opportunity with anybody. And that's a really important first step.
So these Zooms, we're going to try to keep to 25 minutes. So everybody have busy schedules. We want to be at the recording so people will watch it after. I hope you've got a message here that this is possible. I hope you've got a message here that trying this is the most important thing you could do as the first step. And once you get in your head this message of this is possible for you, then you will tell the world like we will. Yvonne, thank you so much, my expert, incredible friend. We've shared some memories, some tears together over the years. And I'm just so happy, Nancy, I'm so happy that you've joined us on this adventure. And I think you see where we're going with this and how we want to make this duplicatable. Did you see the superhero Nancy at the beginning?
Yes, that's great, Nancy. It suits you.
Thank you, Dory.
Thanks again. Dory, I'll let you close it off and shut the recording off a little bit. Folks,
Perfect.
Please share this with whoever you like and get ready. Every Wednesday, we want to have some fun and turn these into Zooms that you could actually duplicate with. So final thoughts, Dory, before we hang up?
Yes, it was wonderful again, and we will see everyone next Wednesday. Good night, everyone.
Take care.
Bye.
Thank
Bye,
you
guys.
very much.